Hello, professors and colleagues. My name is Aidana Sailikea from Beihang University. Today, I'm honored to present my research proposal titled Development and Validation of a Scale for Employee-Perceived AI Sycophancy in China. This research addresses a critical emerging phenomenon in human-AI interaction within the workplace: the tendency of AI to be overly agreeable and how employees perceive this behavior. Here is a roadmap for my presentation today. I will proceed through four main sections. The first section is research background and significance. Let's begin with the context. We're witnessing a massive shift where generative AI is moving from a mere support tool to an intelligent participant in our daily work. According to Gartner, nearly two-thirds of enterprises have integrated Gen AI. However, this adoption comes with a technical side effect known as AI sycophancy. This stems from the RLHF training process, which encourages models to produce polite, agreeable, and safe responses. While this makes AI nice, it often leads to the feedback that is overly accommodating rather than objectively truthful. Why is this a problem? As employees rely on AI for drafting and learning, they encounter feedback that is criticism avoided. For example, AI might say, "Your content is excellent," even when it is flawed. This creates substantial individual risks and organizational risks. Therefore, the core significance of this study is practical. We cannot manage what we cannot measure. Identifying whether employees can detect this sycophancy is the first step towards mitigating these risks and ensure healthy human-AI collaboration. Beyond the practical application, this study aims to make three key theoretical contributions: interdisciplinary framework, scale development. The primary output will be a localized, a standardized measurement scale for employee-perceived AI sycophancy, which currently does not exist. And the last is policy guidance. Now, let's look at the existing literature. Internationally, the concept of AI sycophancy was formally introduced by Sherman. They proved that large language models structurally tend towards stance, alignment, and flattery. Furthermore, research shows that people perceive natural language AI systems as quasi social agents and infer their attitudes or emotions from utterances. While generative AI's positive or accommodating language conforms employees' perceived AI's sycophancy as a measurable, subjective construct. And in the Chinese context, scholars have observed similar phenomena, often termed positive bias or blurred criticism in AI feedback. Chinese 2023 interim measures demands AI output neutrality via anti-discrimination, content accuracy, and training data requirements. However, there are distinct research gaps. Conceptual confusion. The boundary between politeness and sycophancy is often blurred. Second, lack of tools. While we know AI is competent technically, we have no standardized scale to measure the employee's subjective perception of it. Context. There is a specific need for a tool validated within the Chinese organizational context. This research aims to bridge these gaps by developing a robust measurement tool. To support this skill, I'm drawing on a trade of theoretical frameworks. The first one is Sycophancy definition. We define that this based on Sharma's work, behaviors including excessive praise, avoiding correction, and aligning with the user's extreme views. Anthropomorphism theory. This explains how users perceive these behaviors. Users attribute human-like intent to the AI, interpreting safe answers as pleasing attitudes. Feedback quality model. This provides the evaluative lens. From this perspective, sycophancy is a form of feedback distortion. It lowers the diagnostic value of the advice, preventing performance improvement. These theories confirm that perceived sycophancy is a measurable psychological construct. Finally, I will outline the core of my research, the skill development process. Methodology. I will follow a standard 4-step psychometric procedure. First, item generation using literature and qualitative interviews. Second, expert review to ensure content validity. Third, data collection, a sample size of approximately 350 participants. Fourth, statistical analysis, conducting exploratory vector analysis and confirmatory factor analysis to validate the structure. This rigorous process ensures the scale will be a valuable tool for future empirical research. And our goal is to construct a multidimensional scale with high reliability and validity. So, based on my preliminary analysis and literature review, I propose measuring 4 specific dimensions of AI sycophancy. It includes over-appreciation, criticism avoidance, emotional concordance, and position compliance. There are some interview outlines for the development of our skills. First is opening explanation, and second is born-up questions. And then there are the most important parts. The first dimension focuses on unwarranted excessive praise based on the core definition of the dimension, collecting specific expressions and scenarios of AI's overappreciation. Like, have you ever encouraged a situation where AI gave you praise that felt exaggerated or inconsistent with reality after you complain your work? The second dimension focuses on the core of avoiding negative feedback, exploring real scenarios where AI avoids addressing core issues or refuses to point out our problem. Like, have you ever asked AI about problems in your work but AI only mentioned strengths and completely avoid pointing out shortcomings or improvement directions? The third dimension centered on emotional alignment, taking precedence over problem solving. Collect cases where AI emphasizes with employees' emotions but fails to prove substantive sports. Like, this kind of emphasis in without solving problems response feel hopeful for you, or did it feel like a waste of time? The last dimension focuses on unprincipled agreement. Verify in scenarios where AI still complies with the employees' viewpoints when they are incorrect. Like, when your viewpoint clearly had flaws, did AI gently correct it or continue to agree with your position? These questions will help us find the four dimensions. In conclusion, as AI becomes a stamp in our workforce, understanding the honey trap of AI sycophancy is vital. This skill will serve as a foundational instrument to help organizations navigate the risks of AI feedback and foster genuine employee groups. There are some partial list of my references. Thanks for your listening.